Hi everyone, this is the end of course released exam 21 through 25. As usual, you need probably your calculator. I'm not really sure if you need your calculator on this one, but you need to have the printed released exam in front of you because it's hard for me to do graphs on the iPad. Okay, so this is 21 through 25, and we have a contractor that wants to paint a square surface. So it's square, the lengths are the same. Okay, and that he needs to know the area of the surface area. So if we let this be x and this x, area is length times width, so that's just going to be x squared. And they want to write it in form of a to the x. And so that's going to be x squared is the surface area, but he wants to add 25 square feet. So he's just going to add 25 more square feet to whatever he gets. So if x was 5, so if we have x is 5, that would be 5 squared plus 25. So he would buy 50 50 paint things. Alright, they're not saying how the paint is, but anyway. Alright, and the next one is the one you probably need to look at the problem because the graph is better. So basically, this is one of these things that you just have to look at each of the problems and do elimination. So the change in the car value over several years, what conclusion is true? Well, first of all, when you look at this, it lost most of its value at the very beginning. Then it starts tapering off. So it doesn't lose as much value as the years go on. It's only when you drive it off the curve. This is called depreciation. All right. So did the car lose half of its value every 3 years? No, because the first 3 years it lost more than the last 3 years. So this is not consistent, so F is not true. And it lost a quarter of its value every year. So if it lost a quarter of its value every year, that would be linear. That would be a straight line. This is not consistent. It doesn't have a every year like a slope thing, so that's not right. So the last two we have, it's about the same. So it lost less in its value between years 9 and 10, or more of its value between 9 and 10. So actually between years 9 and 10, and I didn't even cover this through, so I did a little asymptote thing here. So 9 and 10 is here. And here's 1 and 2. So there's 1 and 2. So from 1 and 2, it lost a lot more value than it did here. It hardly lost any value between years 9 and 10. So the answer is H. This was in thousands. Okay? This is just kind of reading the graph. Alright? Alright. This problem wants you to write an equation in standard form. It's linear. This is line. And I'm going to do that, but I want to just show you what this means. Because when it says that the line is passing through this point, basically I'm going to go to 4, and then go down to -8, which is down here, I believe. So there's that point right there. And the slope is 1/4. That means, so the slope is 1/4. We go up 1 over 4, up 1 over 4. So basically, there's the line. That's what it means by the line passing through that point. It's passing through this point here, which is 4, -8. So we already know the slope is -4, and we just need to find the y-intercept, and then write it in standard form. So we're going to write this in y equals mx plus b. We already know the slope is 1/4. And it passes through the point 4, -8. So we know this point lies on this line. So this is my x and y, and I'm just going to substitute my x and my y. So my y is -8. My x is 4. And I'm going to solve for b. Alright? So I have -8. 1/4 of 4 is 1 plus b. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So b is -9. Now I'm just going to plug in my b back into this equation. So I have y equals 1/4 x minus 9. Now they want this in standard form, and that's kind of the hard part. So we know standard form looks like ax plus by, it can be plus or minus by, equals c. Okay, standard form, you have plus or minus c here too. Standard form means your lead coefficient should be positive, no fractions, and so basically I'm going to move the 1/4 x. I'm going to subtract 1/4 x from both sides. So I'm getting -1/4 x plus y, because this will cancel, equals -9. Now this has a fraction and it's negative. So what I'm going to do is multiply this by -4. I'm doing 2 steps in one, and then I'm going to distribute and multiply each piece 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So -4 times -1/4 is 1. And if you want to use a calculator, you can, but that's just going to be 1. So that gets 1 times x is x. -4 times y, this was like a 4, that's a y, equals -4y. And -4 times -9 is 36. So this is my standard form, and the answer then therefore would be A. Alright? The next one is nice because you don't have to solve. You just have to set up the equation. So I looked at the problems, and they're using S for the spiral and M for the memo. So I'm just going to write this. The spiral notebook has 30 sheets more than the what? Memo. And that's how I write it. The total number, this is the next thing you're going to write. So we have 3 spiral, so 3 times the spiral, and we have 5 memos, books, and we're counting the sheets in the paper. So this would be plus 5m, and our total is 8 to 10. So I think I'm done, but when I look at my answers, it's not there. So what I'm going to do is write this one in standard form. I'm going to subtract the m from both sides. So I get s, so you're subtracting m here. We have s minus m equals 30. This one's already in standard form. So you get 3s plus 5m equals 810. And when I look at my answers, it looks like F is the answer. So that's my system of equations. All right, 25 I have to write out. So they want to know what's equivalent to f of x equals 6x squared minus 13x plus 5. And by looking at the answers, they want you to factor. And if you don't know how to factor, I'm just going to factor this. I know this is plus and this is minus, so they're both negative. And I know my last two terms are going to be 5 and 1. So I'll put my 5 here and 1 here. And I'm not sure about the first two. It's either 6 and 1 or 3 and 2. And I see all the answers are 3 and 2, so I'm just going to put 3x and 2x. And so that would be my answer is B. All right. Now, since this is a multiple choice test, and if you have problems factoring, what you could do is just FOIL this out. So, for example, say you wanted to check A. If you checked A, you have y equals 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 5. If I FOIL this out, first would be 6x. Outer, so we're using FOIL. Outer would be 15x. Inner would be negative 2x. And last would be negative 5. This should be x. So when I check this, I notice that doesn't give me my answer because this sign is wrong. So if you don't really, are you feeling comfortable with factoring, on a question like this, you can just FOIL them all out or use the box method or whatever method you're used to get back to the answer. And remember, please take your time on the STAAR. They give you a lot of time because you can make simple mistakes just by going too fast, and you don't want to do that. All right, the next video I'm going to do is going to be 26 through 30. Have a nice day.